Welcome to this session of Orion Website Basics. Today we're going to take a few minutes to talk about how simple it is to add a new listing into the Orion system. So let's get started. From your Orion dashboard, you click on the Properties tab, and we try to make everything very intuitive. So you want to add a property, here's the Properties tab. You click on the Properties tab, and you can see from here there's a lot of things you can do from the Properties tab. You can look at all your active listings. You can look at all your properties, your sold properties, your leased properties. Let's do this, for example, real quick here. If I looked at all my active listings, it's going to list all my active listings, and you'll see it shows them 5 per page. I can go 10, 15, 20 per page, however I want to do it. Say I pick 10 per page here. And I can see all of my active listings. An active listing in Orion is a listing that it hasn't reached the expiration date and where all the required fields are filled in. So if either of those two aren't satisfied, it's not an active listing. It'll be in your inventory of properties, but it won't be an active listing. So from here, from all my active listings, I can do a lot of things. Let's say I wanted to look at the Lake City Development Tract, this sample listing, and this sample office condo, and this one, and I just wanted to get rid of all the others and look at only those 4. So I check the filter box and I click on filter, and I can see those 4 properties now. If I want to look at a summary view of them, I can click on summary, and it'll give me a printable 1-page that lists all the properties, a little blurb on each one, and a map showing where they are. I can zoom in on this map if I want to get more detail on these that are very close together. However I want to do it. But then I could print this if I wanted or whatever. That's just a quick idea on the summary view. If I have a property that has expired and I didn't renew it, or maybe I renewed it but I didn't change the date in Orion, and the date passes and now it's not an active listing anymore. It's not feeding out to any of the CIEs or any of the websites or anything like that. So I need to go in and edit it. If I go to my active listings, I'm not going to find it there. But if I go to all my properties and click there, I'm going to see all of my properties, and you'll see they have a code. This one says available. This one's expired. This one is pending, closed, leased. And again, I can look at 5, 10, 15, 20 per page, however I want to do it. So if this were the property that expired, I renewed it, and I need to go in and change the expiration date, I could very easily do that. Same thing here, my sold properties. This will give me a list of everything that I have in Orion that's sold. My lease properties, same thing there. My watch list properties will give me a list of everything I have on my watch list that shows up on my dashboard. My pending properties, same there, give me a list of everything that's pending, and on and on and on. But let's very quickly now go to how do we add a property to Orion. We just got a new exclusive assignment for sale, for lease, whatever, and we want to add it. So we go to the Properties tab, and you'll see we can do a search. We can add new property or edit a property. Let's say we want to add a new property. That's what we're talking about today. So we simply click on Add New Property, and you'll come to the property details with 5 tabs: location, details, agent, highlights, and pricing. And then we start filling them in. The address is a street address. Fill in the street address, the city name. Be careful to spell the city name correctly. You'd be surprised. For example, if you put in a city, let's say Land O'Lakes, Florida here, and that's spelled capital L-A-N-D, space, capital O, and then what is that? Not an apostrophe, the single quotation mark thing, and then a space, and then L-A-K-E-S. And if people put it in there, O, and then no space with the L-A-K-E-S, and someone searches, no one's going to find it that way. So make sure you spell it correctly. State or province, this is the 2-digit code, all capital letters. And as I say all capital letters, let me stress here, when you're filling in Orion, anything in Orion, do not use all capital letters. The only place where you use all capitals would be in the state or province. Everywhere else, use, first letter capitalized and the rest like you would if you were writing. All capital letters, doesn't work. It doesn't help sell your property any better, and it looks real less than professional when you print out the flyer and everything. So put in the address, the city, the state, the province or the zip or postal code, and this will accept both the U.S. and the Canadian codes. It'll accept the zip +5 codes as well. So put those in there correctly. State, the default is the United States, but you can pick Canada if you want. County and the MSA, and here again you can click and it has all the MSAs. You can go in there and do whatever you want. Description of location. This is a description of the location. This isn't where you sell your property. This isn't where you put the executive summary. This isn't where you say, this is the most wonderful piece of commercial real estate in the history of real estate, and you ought to buy it, and motivated owner, and spacious sloping lawns with, stately oak trees, and a great professional environment. That's not what you put here. What you put here is the subject property is located on the northwest corner of Sharpsburg Boulevard and Rowan Road between State Road 54 and Trouble Creek Boulevard in Newport Richey, Florida. Description of the location. That's what you put here. Once you've got that information in here, real important. See this here? Click here to map address. If, for example, I put address in here, if I put an address in here, you'll notice that the map, the default cursor location is in the exact geographic center of the United States, somewhere in Kansas here. So if I don't click here to map address, the map that's associated with the flyer that Orion creates is going to have this property located in Kansas, and I don't want that. So I click here to map address, and boom, it instantly moves it to where it is. Now, if you want to check that, or if you're not exactly sure, you can zoom in. Just click on the zoom in button here, and you'll see I can click satellite now, and I can get the address that I put in there happens to be my house. So my house is the fourth house on the left here, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's exactly where it's supposed to be. So let's say it wasn't, though, for some reason. I can drag this, I can move it, and let's say that's where my house. I can put it there, and when I click save, it's going to save that push pin right to wherever I put it. That's how you would do a piece of vacant land. If you have a piece of vacant land that doesn't have an address, let's say the address is the northwest corner of I-75 and State Road 52 in San Antonio, Florida. And I clicked here to map address. It's not going to know where that is because it's looking for the northwest corner of I-75 and State Road 52, but it's a it's a computer. It doesn't know that well. So I can zoom out in this case. Okay, here's State Road 52. Here's the northwest corner of I-75. I can put it right there, and now when I save it, it'll be in the right location. So that's how you map a address, property that you don't have a real address for. But if you have an address, by all means, put the address in there. And again, description of location is description of location. Anything here with a red asterisk behind it, you'll find, is a required field. So red asterisk indicates a required field. So make sure that you put the required fields in there properly. On the Details tab, you put in the name of the property. And this shouldn't be the address of the property. This shouldn't say for sale, for lease. This shouldn't say anything like that. The city, the state, all that is in a different place. Here you would put, Summer Lakes Professional Center, the ABC Retail Center, whatever. Think of a creative name. Property description. This is where you put the executive summary of the property. The default listing date would be the date that you're entering this, but you can change it and make it any date you want. Expiration date. This is important. Put the date that the property listing expires. No one else is ever going to see this, so don't worry about that. You can pick a property type. If you pick a property type, you can, if you want to, also pick a subtype. So in this case, let's say office condo. Keywords, you can put in some keywords for search purposes. Property use, investment, vacant user, business for sale, and then operating income, whatever, if it's an investment property. If the property is under construction, you can designate that. Featured property, don't worry about that. That's for your company administrator only. Third-party listing, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that later. That's for use with buyer and tenant rep assignments. Property status, active property in the system. The default will check this for you, but if you uncheck it, this property will not be active in the system. No one will see it. It won't go to any public websites, anything like that. Why would you put a property in here and not have it active in the system? I'm not sure why you would do that, but that's available for you. The default is there. Hide on public site. This is Orion also has for an added fee. Your company can have a public commercial website that Orion feeds data to, the templates there and everything. So unless your company uses that, this is not relevant for you. CIE export. Check this box if you want Orion to export this listing to third-party CIEs. We right now, CIEs like eProperty Data, Commercial Source, Realtor.com Commercial, CCIM Redex, RealUp, ROFO, Property Line, CoStar. The only service like that that doesn't take data feeds from anyone is LoopNet. They're a pay-for service, so but if you want your property syndicated out to all these, check this, enable export to third-party CIEs. If you don't want it to go out to those, don't check this box. Agents, the default will be you. I'm logged in as me, so the listing agent is me. But if I were entering this listing for someone else, I could change that and pick anybody else I wanted to. If I, let's say this is my listing, but I'm working on it with Luke Elliott, I could highlight Luke and put him over here with associated with this listing. If I was working on this with Matt Kim and Luke, I could highlight Matt Kim and put him over here too. If I'm not, I can get rid of both of them. So make sure you fill that in. Highlights. The first three highlights are required fields. These are features translated into benefits. The highlights of the property. External web links. Some of the larger assets will have a standalone Flash website, and that would, you could put that URL here with a description. Year build, number of floors, gross, rentable, and usable square footage, if that applies. They're not required fields, though. Number of acres, lot size. Lot size, you can put 100 by 200 feet or whatever you want. Parking ratio per 1,000 square feet. So I would put 4, and then it formats as 4 per 1,000. Building class, class A, B, C, D. Don't oversell. Be within the bounds of ethics and morality, and be honest. What is it? And the tax ID number. That's a required field in Orion. Pricing, the default is for sale, so the required for sale is the gross listing price. U.S. properties will format in U.S. dollars. Canadian properties will format in Canadian dollars as capital C, capital A, capital D with a dollar sign. So CAD, dollar sign, and then the number. If you'd like to enter price per square foot or acre or cap rate or any of that, you can. Sales status, available. Once it's under contract, you can make it pending and closed. We'll get into that later. If the property is for lease, you pick for lease from the drop-down, and a whole set of other fields open up. The required ones are total available square footage, the minimum lease term in years, the price per square foot per year, and we understand that other markets do things differently sometimes, but the predominant way to quote listing prices for lease are price dollars per square foot per year. Minimum divisible square footage, maximum contiguous. If you want to quote price per year, price per square foot per month, price per month, any of that, you can put those in these fields. The date that it's available, formatted as 01/01/2012, And then lease type. Is it a modified gross lease, gross, triple net, industrial gross, or other? And then leasing status, we have available and we have lease. There's really no under contract, pending kind of lease. Either you have a signed lease or you don't. So once it's leased, you can click leased and enter that information. We'll get in there. Once you're all done with that, don't forget to click save. Once you click save, I'm not going to save any of this information, but click save, and it will bring you to a screen that looks like this. So Orion will format that to upload photos. You click on the Photos tab. You browse on your hard drive to wherever it is you want, where that photo is. Double-click on it, and it'll put it in. You'll see here that this photo is my current thumbnail. If I wanted to designate this as my current thumbnail, I could just simply check it, and now that's my current thumbnail. If I want to set it back, I can do that. If I want to delete a picture, I can do that. And I can upload any number of pictures into here. They can be photographs, photo formats, or PDF. Documents. I give the document a title, a description, then I browse to it and upload it. Be sure to give it a title and a description first, because once you click Browse to upload and click on it, it's going to upload it, and it'll tell you don't have a title for it. So know what you want to do first. And here you can upload any Word document, any PowerPoint, Excel, or PDF document can be uploaded. What do you use this for? You could use it for an offering memorandum for the property. You could use it for confidentiality, non-disclosure, non-circumvention agreement. You could use it for a lease form for a property that's for lease. Any number of things you can use it for. And how it formats, I'm going to go back to this property detail page and click on View Public Listing. If I click on View Public Listing, you'll see this is how Orion sets it for me. So you can see in the title of the property, I don't have to put the city and the state and that it's for sale, because Orion gives me the for sale icon. It gives me the address right underneath it. So I need to come up with a unique marketing name for the property. My company logo comes with it, my picture, my name, my address, my email address, my phone, all the salient information on the property, the description of the location, the executive summary. The map is interactive. I can do whatever I want, click in, zoom. The related documents that I talked about are here. So you can see here in this case I have an offering memorandum attached as a PDF, so anybody could come to this and look at it and print it out and do whatever they thought they needed to do. Let me go back to that page. If you use social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter, you can, with one click of a button, if I were logged into LinkedIn, I could click here. Something's wrong with my LinkedIn account, apparently, or Facebook or Twitter. Email to a friend, if I click here, it's going to open Outlook or whatever email program you use. You send this as a link. So if I put your email address in here and sent this to you, and I put a little note, hey, Fred, this is Mike, further our conversation earlier today, here's some more information on the property you asked about, boom, and I could send it to you. And you would get that link. And when you clicked on the link, you would get this page with all the interactivity and everything that's with it. I can print this as a one-page flyer for my property, so I don't have to worry about anybody formatting a new flyer or do anything like that. So that's really how to add a property to Orion. Hopefully you see it as very intuitive, very simple. The great thing about it is Orion becomes a single point of entry. When you get a new exclusive assignment, instead of sitting in front of a computer for an hour entering it into 10 or 12 different websites, you put it into Orion. Orion will feed it out to all of them for you. You get a price change. You don't have to change it in 10 places. Change it in Orion. Orion will change it there for you. So let's go back to the dashboard and finish this session of Orion Website Basics, how to add a property.